In this next scenario, we deal with an attacker that is making a vertical downward type stab. That type of stab we've been referring to as an ice pick stab. In this scenario, however, there's a great deal of distance between the defender and the attacker. Enough distance so that the defender can operate with his long-range weapons. This will be a kicking defense that Michael will demonstrate. Kicking defense is important because, again, we have the luxury of the reach of the leg that allows us to keep our vulnerable areas of the body further away from the blade of the knife. We now demonstrate this defense slowly. Note the distance between the defender and the attacker. The defender does not take some type of fighting stance. He wants the attacker to feel free to come in. As soon as Wade begins to pull back on the knife to stab forward and step, Michael closes the distance with a bursting step forward, kicking to the groin at a 45-degree angle. This angle of the kick is a punching and also a pushing type of kick that allows Michael to send the attacker's hips backwards, delivering a sharp blow to the groin area. This interrupts the rhythm of the attack, stopping it. Michael can follow up with counterattacks. And now we'll see it from the original angle. As the attack comes, watch Wade is drawing the knife up to time his stabbing to the position where Michael is originally standing. Michael uses that time and that opportunity to close the distance and use his longer range weapons to kick at a 45-degree angle with the ball of the foot, with a straight leg, forcing the hips back and the body back of the attacker, interrupting the attack before the knife is thrust down upon him in his original position. This next scene illustrates the target area being hit by the defender's foot. The kick is rising at a 45-degree angle, and the defender is kicking with the ball of his foot. The foot itself rises at a 45-degree angle up and forward, forcing the attacker's hips back. This interferes with the attacker's ability to send the stab, and it also impedes the attacker's ability to continue his advance towards the defender. In this scene, we'll examine the exercise and break the exercise down into its teaching stages. First, note that the stance that Michael is in, and he will be demonstrating from this stance, is a passive position. He does not assume a fighting stance. This will invite the attack, and the attacker feels free to come in to give the stab. The first stage is an advance. Michael will be advancing forward, but in a diagonal angle. This assumes a right-handed attacker. From this position, Michael is bursting in, and as he bursts in, the inside of his foot turns out slightly to extend the right hip of the kicking leg. This is stage one. Stage two involves making the actual kick. 1, then 2. 1, then 2. 1, then 2. Because the knife is being drawn in an upwards motion, is being held at a relatively high level, our kick is low to a vulnerable target, which is the groin area. Notice the kicking foot is held at a 45-degree angle to push the hips of the attacker back. Michael will now face to his right and make the exercise. Notice the stages, a step and a kick. Michael's hands come up but stay close to him so as not to be cut. It's important to note that Michael's upper body leans backwards. His hip of the kicking leg shoots forward, to provide greater distance and reach. The leaning accomplishes this reach, but also helps to keep the vulnerable parts of his body further away from the blade, namely his torso. A final note on this particular exercise. It should be noted that the defender may want to move in a different direction from what we've shown. It is possible to step out with the right leg and kick with the left. The reason for this could be tactical reasons, positioning, or it could be the disbursement of weight at the time the attack is brought to the defender. If the defender's weight is in such a way that it would be appropriate to step to the right and kick with the left, it's fine to do so. One other note. From the original position, it is possible to step out with one leg and kick to a higher target area. This is especially true if the attacker tends to be leaning with his torso and the upper torso is at a closer distance than the groin area.